Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to watch a Boracity Magazine on RM. As we know, they are all enlisted in the military. And I tried to do a 7-day standoff for them. And I've done one for JK, I've done one for Jimin, and today, and also yesterday I did one for the four of them together as the Bangtan TV released the enlistment ceremony short video. And today I'm going to do something for RM. This is a 23 plus minute video and I hope that my phone will not die. So without further ado, let's go check it out. It is called RM, The Multiple Colors of Indigo. So we've all heard of the whole album. I love it. He has many features of other artists. But let's find out what the Boracity Magazine want to teach us today. Okay, let's go.
15.
Wait, let's do turn on caption. Yes. Here we go.
RM of BTS released his first solo mixtape, RM, on SoundCloud. Full of intense raps, this album expressed RM's thoughts on the battle between two identities given to him, a K-pop idol and an underground rapper. He concluded that RM is simply RM. He may be both, he may be none. He is RM, an artist.
Yes.
In 2018, RM released his second solo mixtape, Mono, in which he explores his insecurities and his identity as Kim Namjoon, the normal guy behind global superstar RM. But this was just the beginning of his journey on self-discovery. So while Mono is characterized by introspective animated music videos, black and white graphics, and non-answered questions as the themes of the songs, Indigo is characterized by hopeful music videos centered around Namjoon, graphics with a splash of color, and reflections about Namjoon's journey on self-discovery. Although this is his third solo project, Indigo is RM's official solo debut, but Namjoon considers it more an archive of his 20s than an opportunity for solo stardom. So instead of promoting his album by having interviews on TV shows and performing on massive music festivals, he accepted interviews only with a couple of journalists and interviewers he knew would focus solely on the music. And he decided to only perform for NPR's Tiny Desk concert and another.
And I have not watched the live concerts yet. I'm going to do them later on because we have a lot of time now on our hands. Now that they're all in the military, so it's good time for me to catch up.
Special concert with an audience of only 200 people. So this is not your regular album or mixtape. This is Namjoon's documentation of his youth in the moment of independent phase. His physical album is both an art catalog and a personal diary. It includes 10 poems or songs, pictures painted in the color indigo of plants he found, mountains close to his studio, and even fragments from the pencil he uses. He also included a texture in the color indigo and a photo shoot in only one location, his studio. This is indigo. This is also indigo. And this is also indigo. Actually, all of these colors are considered indigo. So RM's indigo is a representation of many things. First, indigo is the...
See, most people consider indigo as the color of the jeans, I think, right? But we all know for each color, depending on the grading, a name of a color can mean a lot of different shades. I just noticed, why is my face so shiny? I don't understand, okay? It's like, no matter how hard I try, my face is always shiny. You might call that glassy skin, but I don't know, it's just oily. But I don't feel oily though. Never mind, it's back to indigo, sorry about that.
The beginning of giving a little color to his work. His previous solo projects had black and white themes, so Indigo gives hope to his journey on self-discovery. Second, just like every person sees the color indigo differently, every person can interpret this album
Normally, my idea of indigo is pretty much the color in the bottom, the 1F4699 and 1E1E58. I've never considered the top two at the edges, the more like purple or lavender to me as indigo, but especially the kind of beigey color. Yeah, what do I know about color, right? All I know is there are different shades of particular color, but I never knew that indigo actually can get into the beige territory.
Every person sees the color indigo differently.
Yes.
Every person can interpret this album differently based on their own experiences. So these lyrics mean different things for everyone.
그래서 앨범 전반에 걸쳐서 또 각자가 생각하는 그런 뭐 인디고나 남색, 블루 뭐 이런 것들이 다를 텐데 그런 색채들의 좀 그라데이션을 느끼실 수 있을 거라는 생각이 듭니다.
Third, the range of the indigo colors are considered part of nature, and nature was one of the biggest connections Namjoon had to life outside of the spotlight. This is reflected in Namjoon's love for plants, quiet bicycle rides, and museum visits. As described in the album's packaging, indigo comes from the colors of nature, human, etc. Fourth, indigo was one of the main colors used by Yoon Hyun-kun, a late Korean painter known for combining the colors of earth and water, and the inspiration for many of the themes of the album. These themes are also displayed in the earth and water tones of the album's pictures. Lastly, just like the variety of indigo colors, this album has a variety of music genres and atmospheres. These 10 colors are painted in the 10 tracks of the album and reflect the 10 years of his life as a person in his 20s. This is why the album says,
he put so much thought into his album. I, for one, did not pay attention to all that. To me, it was just for me, just kind of like the music, the songs, the lyrics, and the music video. The album design to me is just a bonus. So, but little did I know, right? I should know. Anything about R.E.M. just so deep.
10 blues included, and not 10 songs included. And these genres may be very different from each other, but are all part of a common message. A message that you may find helpful if you follow the instructions shown on the album's packaging. Use it while taking a walk, a shower, drive, coffee break, work, dance, read a book, when flowers bloom or fall. This is Indigo, Namjoon's journal, R.E.M's last archive of his 20s, and a deep introspection of life, helpful.
And I believe that he did not release the album for numbers or for money. It's a piece of art. And it's a piece of his art, right?
Not only for people in their 20s, but for anyone in any stage of life. This is the cover of Indigo, and this painting right here is one of Yoon Hyun-kun's artworks, one of R.E.M's favorite painters and the inspiration for this song. So the title Yoon is after the painter Yoon, who narrates the beginning and the end of the song.
So deep.
The song starts with Yoon analyzing Plato's view on the purpose of humanity, which then lets Namjoon explore his own views on humanity. And to do this, he goes back to the moment in which he thinks humans live without many societal expectations.
I'ma turn back the time.
Realizes he shouldn't care about those opinions because that is what prevents him from finding his place as a human in this world. And it was important for Namjoon to start the album discussing his views on humanity because he thinks that in order to do art, he first needs to stay quiet and just be human. These lines are sung by the queen of neo-soul, Erykah Badu, who broke her 2-year hiatus on music to participate in this track.
I found that he was just this wonderful art enthusiast and creative, made me want to meet him and collaborate with him.
Erykah Badu helps Namjoon paint the first tone of Indigo, neo-soul with the atmosphere of a 90s boom bap. So Namjoon wants to be human before
What's a boom bap?
Indigo, neo-soul with the atmosphere of a 90s boom bap. So Namjoon wants to be human before he does some art.
I wanna be a human before I do some art.
Because in the cruel world we live in, true sadness is one of the most real human emotions, and accepting that is the first step to start creating art. Feelings like joy, anger, love, sorrow, and pleasure.
Yeah.
Techniques and skill come second because
What is it with all the words in your lyrics that you can feel?
that was how Namjoon wrote this album, following Yoon's message. He was inspired solely by the real emotions that made him human. That is his true beauty.
모든 영식답안에 천진무구한 세계로 들어가야지. 그게 인간의 목적인 것 같아.
Namjoon said, "My whole 20s were an exhibition, but I chose to be a star." The explanation of this is in Still Life, a song in which Namjoon compares his 20s being an exhibition to an art exhibition. Paintings are often described as still life. They are motionless but will carry life forever.
화가가 100년 전에 그린 그 꽃은 이미 시들고 죽어서 없겠지만 여기선 살아있잖아요.
So if RM's life in the spotlight is a painting, Namjoon wants to remind himself and everyone else that he is still human. He is still alive in this canvas.
K-pop 아티스트 BTS RM으로서 사는 삶이 늘 저는 전시관의 좌대에 올려져 있다는 생각을 많이 해요. 늘 보여지고 있고 사람들이 늘 날 오고 있고 난 그걸 의식하고 있고 그러니까 정물처럼 그 캔버스에 거기 이렇게 그려져 있지만 그러나 나는 멈추지 않고 계속 바뀔 것이다.
His life might be an exhibition for everyone to see, but he is not an inanimate painting. He is alive and constantly changing. Namjoon also talks about multiple paintings he saw named Untitled and realizes that he wants to escape the frame of the canvas. This realization is a celebration. So this tone of Indigo is pop funk and it features the American singer Anderson .Paak. So Namjoon now values being a friend more than being a trendsetter. He, who was born in 94, lives in the affluent city of Hanam, but he finds no reason to live in Gangnam, the overpriced city where everyone wants to live. The flex of living there is not worth it. All Day is probably one of the least analyzed songs of the album by the media. Maybe it's because the lyrics are not as complicated as the others, but I have another theory. Critics and writers love deconstructing BTS's philosophy and psychology in their reviews.
Yeah, I love watching those because I'm not as bright as all those people to break things down, so I'm just going to watch and read them and absorb and be educated.
But are often afraid of discussing their position on society. It's true that All Day is a happy hip-hop track, but it also challenges the algorithm era in which we live in today.
좀 사실 쉽고 편하게 신나게 들을 수 있는 노래지만 또 가사에 담긴 함의들을 좀 이렇게 봐주시면 좋을 것 같고.
This song has many messages. It criticizes society's idea of forced happiness. It tells the struggle of finding one's taste, preference, and originality in a world with algorithms and artificial intelligence. This song features Tablo, a South Korean rapper, part of the group.
Talk about algorithm, right? I think a lot of reactors always say that, comment that will help the algorithm, all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know about this YouTube algorithm. I'm putting out the video just because I enjoy watching this video. I figured that I'll just share my reaction or non-reaction to everybody out there who's willing to watch my reaction. And if you're so inclined to want to subscribe and like the video, that'll be great. But, everybody comes to YouTube knowing what we want you to do, subscribe, hit like, comment, all that stuff. But I don't think I need to repeat myself over again, because if you like it, great. If you don't like it, if you let me know how I can improve, that'll be good. But if you don't feel like saying anything, that's fine too. That's why my channel is not growing fast. Maybe a couple here, a couple there. But it's okay with me. I'm not forcing the situation, and I don't really much care about the algorithm of YouTube. So.
Epic high. After years of mutual admiration, Namjoon asked him to be part of this specific song because of his persuasive style of rap. Tablo accepted before even listening to the song.
노래 하나 보냈는데 형 드디어 같이 하나 합시다.
If I remember correctly, Tablo was educated in the US, right? Is he the one that graduated from Stanford or went to Stanford? I don't know whether he graduated. He might have graduated. I don't know. But is Tablo the one who actually went to Stanford? That's how I remembered.
듣지도 않고 그래 하자 보냈는데 형 드디어 같이 하나 합시다. 듣지도 않고 그래 하자 한 후에 들었어요.
So Tablo continues the message with an iconic comedic line. And it may be funny, but it also makes sense. They, and you can choose who they are, want people in fear without expressing thoughts. But the song wants you to not be afraid of them. It wants you to fight them. And of course, these are references to the BTS songs Dynamite and DNA. And this song is about the everyday fight of living originally.
Yes.
그러니까 어느 날 친구가 저한테 그러는 거예요. 제 가까운 친구가. 너는 맨날 까먹는다고 만나면 골든벨처럼 친구들아 미안해. 약간 이런 그런 데서 출발을 했어요.
친구들 서운해해요. 미안해 생각이 참 많아요. 내 메모리가
There's no way that we can remember
Forgetful is
everything.
an introspective view on the nature of forgetting things due to the excessive amount of information we receive every day. That's why Namjoon forgot to put an E in the title. So to contrast this excessiveness, Forgetful
It's
is
so
made
cute.
of unplugged sounds without any virtual instruments.
어쿠스틱 기타 그리고 휘파람 그 다음에 작업실에서 있는 책상을 두드린다든지 청바지를 이렇게 비빈다든지 작업실에 있는 장난감을 친다든지 하는
This folk acoustic song is complemented by the South Korean singer Kim Seo-woo, who expresses Namjoon's need to live close to nature.
공원에 가지 않으면 돼요. 나 자연의 색이 좋아요.
Namjoon also tells his friends
Her
that he is
voice
not
is
the
like
only
a
one
child.
forgetting things. He asks, "Do you remember the scent of fresh grass from when you were young? If you smell it now, it probably feels different from how you remember. Right, we all just forget and live on. Everyone here is a fool." So living in today's hectic society means forgetting the specific details of life.
스스로 마치할까
Closer is an R&B urban track about distance, from the romantic sense of distance to the real world a singer on stage like RM may feel.
이게 그냥 되게 심플해요. 남자 여자 있는데 다가가지 못하는 그냥 항상 이제 멀리서만 지켜보고 뭐 그게 예를 들면 무대 위에 아이돌일 수도 있고 저처럼
So he feels closeness only in his dreams. Closer was produced by the English duo Honey, and it features the characteristic R&B voices of the British singer Mahalia and the Korean-Canadian singer Paul Blanco. And it's probably the song with the simplest lyrics. The lyrics are more straightforward and feel like they are the first thoughts you have in mind when you are far away from your significant other or from your home. But if you pay closer attention, they can also be a sign of emotional distance in a relationship, not just physical distance. This lack of closeness is also shown in the voicemail interlude that divides the song. So Namjoon concludes that if this is the closest he can get, it may be better to stay where you are to prevent creating even more distance. Change is a song by RM featuring the American rapper Wale, released in 2017. The song talked about the need for the world to change in the social sense. However, Change Part 2 is about personal change. It talks about the ways in which humans and human experiences change even if we don't want to.
Things change, people change, everything change. Love change, friends change, everyone change. It is no strange. That's the world shining.
The song was produced by the South Korean singer and composer Lee Young, and this is the third time he collaborates with RM. Characteristic of Lee Young, the song has an experimental and electronic production, a little similar
Did
to.
he have the last time that he had a collaboration with the Aeon is If, right? Because I recall the song. I really like the song. It was beautiful.
Their other collaborations.
Was it If something? Oh yeah, Don't. Yeah, it's a beautiful song. Don't. Yes. Oh, and this one too.
Things you got, one fits you right. Fuck my interviews years ago.
The song has noise
do
and
like that
riches,
kind
and it
of
expresses very
vibe.
raw, real emotions since they ended up using the vocal guide Namjoon recorded in one go.
형 집에 가서 이렇게 해서 박이 안 맞아요.
거의 한 큐에 그냥 부르고 갔어요. 가이드 보컬을. 거기서부터
Drunk RM
시작했죠.
is a good
그 가이드
RM.
보컬을 결국 썼어요.
So Namjoon starts mentioning the way people he loves change.
Can't believe I loved you once. Fool me once, and fool me twice. They say you can't fix someone. Seems you got one fits you right.
Then he condemns his past self, saying that that is not him anymore.
Fuck my interviews from years ago. I'm all different, not that anymore. What is strange, I don't know this for.
Then the rage and the aggressiveness of the music transform into a more calm, introspective sound. And Namjoon concludes that everyone will experience the grief of change.
Someday, great grief.
This is the kind of music that I tend to hear in a coffee shop, right? It's kind of moody type of thing.
We'll take off for you, and then you're not tough. That's all I can say to you.
Wow.
So many memories are on the floor.
Lonely is about such a common feeling for Namjoon that he felt that he had to talk about it in a song at least once. The loneliness as a foreigner.
I remember when one time I've heard it so many times, but one time it was playing on Spotify, and my husband walked by. He's like, "Oh, is that BTS? Are they really singing fucking lonely?" I was like, "Yes, they're adults. They can say fuck if they want, okay?"
And the loneliness he feels at hotels when he is constantly traveling.
그 어떤 것보다 너무 날 것으로 와닿는 이 호텔에서 진짜 막 때려 막 부시고 싶고 막 꼭 한번 이거에 대한 얘기를 한번 해야겠다. 그리고 약간 이방인으로서 이 낯선 빌딩들이랑 사람들이랑 이런 거 너무 지겹고 그냥 내가 알던 곳으로 빨리 돌아가고 싶은 그냥 되게 보편적인 그리움이랑 향수. 근데 이제 호텔 방이라는 되게 어떤 명확한 정서를 가지고 가는.
I'm fucking lonely. 나 혼자 섬에. Somebody come back.
And this may be a common sentiment by people finding themselves with nothing to do. Sometimes even YouTube, Netflix, and the internet become boring.
Yes.
So when Namjoon feels trapped in those hotels with nothing to do, he starts hating the buildings around him because even those are not familiar to him.
Now I hate the buildings. I don't even know just what to call that.
The next song is Hectic, a neo-pop track featuring the South Korean singer Cold. Hectic is an adjective that means full of incessant or frantic activity, and this can be reflected in the song's visualizer. The ways in which Namjoon experiences hecticness include worn-out memories, liquor talks, glaring lights, reckless taxis, and small talk that lead to no real human connection.
People, reason.
Then Namjoon talks about writing a poem without much purpose, but in the end, this poem became the path he walked alone.
어디로 가는지도 모르게 적어 내려갔던 시도 걸어온 그 길이 되었네 기억 속에.
And I think this may be because of the need to not get lost in the hecticness of life. So all of these feelings were apparently happening yesterday.
Yes, I was a actor. There was nothing but matter.
And today comes the reflection. Now the hangover is over, but we realize that we willingly lost another day. But just like the other songs of the album, Namjoon gives a hopeful conclusion to this overwhelming feeling. He says, close your eyes like you're dreaming. Hold your breath gently. Dancing people's footsteps draw curves on the ground, though we cannot hold on to things that are meant to flow away. Basically, this hectic feeling while living in the city is meant to happen, but there's way more than just this feeling. He talked about this sentiment of both loving and hating the city in Seoul, a track from his previous mixtape. So the last verse lets you know that this is a continuation of that song.
We still love and hate this city, yeah.
The title track of the album is Wildflower, and it expresses Namjoon's desire to live a calm life like wildflowers, rather than the explosive life of fireworks.
화려하지만 금세 사라져 버리고 치울 것들이 많은 불꽃놀이보다는 잔잔하게 피어있는 들꽃처럼 살아보고 싶다라는 저의 바람 뭐 아니면 혼란 이런 것들을 얘기하는 곡이고요.
And the Korean title of the song has incredible wordplay. This is the Korean word for fireworks, which is composed of the words flame and play or amusement. And the word flame is composed of two words, fire and flower. So flame in Korean means flower of fire.
That I will have to say that same thing in Chinese too. It's flame is 火花, is fire flower, is when the fire is burning, you can see all the petals floating around. That's and also the sparkling thing around it, the silver, the little golden dust. Those are fire flower, 火花. Yeah. This very, the structure of Korean and Chinese are very close. It's just they look different, they pronounce different, but the structures are very close.
The title of the song changed the first part of the word firework into the word wildflower, making the title of the song something along the lines of flower work. So the song discusses the concepts of explosive fireworks and calm wildflowers. First, Namjoon says that he is in the flower field, and continuing the theme of an art museum, he says his current life is like a painting which has no name. Then he describes the moments when his life as RM felt too overwhelming. He says, when your feet don't touch the ground, when your own heart consumes you, when your own dreams devour you, when you don't feel like yourself. This is when he wants to be a wildflower, or to be more specific, a flower of fire, rather than fireworks. He also says that the moment...
So one thing about the difference between the fire flower and the fireworks, at least the Chinese context, is that a fire flower can burn the whole forest. It lasts. It's just that it might be small, it might be quiet, but it's more dangerous than the fireworks. So it might not be as grand as firework, but it holds much more power than the firework, because the little sparks of the fire flower can ignite the whole forest. So yeah, that's just my interpretation, of Chinese/Korean. Let's move on.
RM's fame goes away, he wants to stay as Namjoon, and he asks this to a superior being. He continues describing RM's fame as a life that has grown larger than what he deserves or can afford. So he is now asking himself again, where is his dream? So instead of lighting fireworks, he is now lighting wildflowers, or flower works. These lines are interpreted by the powerful South Korean vocalist Eugene.
See, that's the thing, if you don't now I see her explanation and I connect it to Chinese, the lyrics sound so much more impactful to me, but I don't know how it is for non-Asian Chinese/Korean language speaker. That do they understand the significance of using the fire flower in the lyrics in comparison to the fireworks? So it might be very hard for them to grasp, but now that it just hit me, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so
because he doesn't want to be perceived by everyone as a hero or a villain. He wants to remember what his dream was. He reflects that in a society where people with loud voices like fireworks succeed, he speaks silence. This is why he only had minimal...
Yeah, same thing, I think this applies to all lines of business. The louder that you speak, the louder that you are, people pay more attention to you. Whether you're right or wrong, people pay more attention to you. And the louder you are, you can kind of bully people around, because if they don't agree with you, you just kind of shout at them. When I say you, I don't mean you, okay? I'm just saying in general. So unfortunately, that's how the society is. The loudest person, the loudest people wins. So
promotion, an acoustic performance, and one concert with 200 people. His purpose is not to get the praise or to go to the stars again. He started as a poet, so he will remain in that flower field where he has no name, and when he finds himself again, he will return. Indigo's conclusion and the last song of the album is number 2, a collaboration with the South Korean singer Park Ji-young about accepting his past decisions, not looking back, and focusing on the future.
너무 많이 저도 뒤돌아봤던 사람이라서 내가 이렇게 안 했으면 어땠을까? 내가 이거 하지 않았으면 어땠을까? 이거 했으면 어땠을까? 가지 않은 길에 대한 그 미련, 실수하고 잘못하고 부닥치고 미숙하고 이렇게 하면서 여전히 지금도 돌아보면 후회할 수 있겠지만 어쨌든 지금 이 버전이 저의 최선이라고 진실하게 믿고 싶어서
Namjoon explains how relieved he is that by accepting his past self, he can now relax because he is not the little kid who craved approval anymore. So he is now learning to let all those accidents and countless what-ifs that used to torment him in the past. He did his best and he's not looking back anymore.
Yeah. See, I think a lot of people, this has been reflecting in Yoongi's lyrics a lot. He always referred that the animal of regret. You know, we human, I think if I remember correctly from all my sciences and whatever before, is that human are the only animal that has the emotion of regret. All the other animal, dogs, cats, you know, all the other mammal, they do not regret. They did something, they move on. Now dogs, they might look like they feel guilty about something, but there's no regret. Given a chance, they're gonna do it all over again. You know, I can tell you, if anybody out there who owns a dog, you know that they will make a mistake. You will kind of like scold them, no, and they will look sad and regretful. But no, there's no regret in their mind. The next time you go away, they're gonna do the same thing over again. But anyway, back to my thing about regret is that we humans are the only one who are equipped to have the emotion of regret, and Yoongi talked about that a lot. But the thing is like, yeah, you might regret, but we need to move on. People make mistakes. You just need to learn from your mistakes. You cannot keep dwelling on the past. It's gone, it's past. There's nothing you can do to change it. So just learn your lesson and move on. Hope that you will do a better job in the future. And this should apply to everything. We take the history as a way to learn our lesson to improve from it. And that's all I can say, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's continue and finish this.
In conclusion, don't take my interpretations of this album or really any other interpretation of this or any other BTS album as a definitive explanation. I even find the media's positive reviews to be extremely underwhelming. If you watch Namjoon's breakdown of each song, you would see that he has his own motivations to write about his own experiences. But as a poet, he writes in a way that can lead to different interpretations.
Yes.
He does that intentionally. It's true that there's a real story behind each song, but the explanations of my interpretations erases a lot of Namjoon's wordplay and beautiful and colorful descriptions and metaphors of life, youth, society, and humanity. It would be a shame for you to not listen to the actual songs and music videos multiple times, not only for you to create your own interpretation, but also to support artists like him, artists who share with the world more than just songs. This is his personal diary, his own art catalog. These are life lessons and incredible storytelling. So find out what the color indigo means to you, and let's all try to live as a calm, introspective wildflower in the flower-filled canvas Namjoon painted.
Yeah. I think many people, well, I think that at least in the West, the music industry in the West focus more on the noises the music make, right? The drum, whatever. My perspective, this is my perspective, right? Yeah, all of you know I know nothing, but my perspective is that RM's Indigo did not do as well in the charts because unfortunately most people do not appreciate this kind of music. They like moves, dance moves, not to talk down on Jungkook's music. It was a hit and many people liked it. It's just like it's more suitable for a Western consumption because first of all it's the English, second you got all the dances and all the stuff, right? The beat, the Michael Jackson move and all that stuff. But and Jimmy is more poppy and it's more eye-catching with all the dance move again. But RM's is pure art. So, and I think, and also he did not promote it like the others. So I think that's one of the reasons that it did not do as well in charts. But for true armies or people who truly appreciate this kind of music, this kind of view and introspect into human life and the human history and all that stuff, will appreciate this kind of music more. There's a pros and cons to everything, but if you like it, you like it. If you don't, there's no one going to force you to like certain things that you don't like. So, but I want to thank Boracity Magazine again. I totally agree that how you interpret the music is totally up to you. Everybody will interpret the music differently based on their own upbringing, experience and preferences. So, but I do appreciate that particular perspective from her, which helped me understand this a bit more, so I can go back and listen to the album again to form my own opinion. So that is the whole goal of this particular video. And that's it for now. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.